Delhi. She has completed her undergraduation from UBKV, Uttar Banga Krishi Viswavidyalaya in 2017, and post-graduation from ICR, again Indian Agriculture Research Institute, IRI, in 2019. She has been awarded the Merit Medal from ICAR, IRI, for her academic performance during MSc. From her MSc work, she has published 4 research articles in different journals, and 1 article has been accepted in the Indian Journal of Agriculture Sciences. Yes, Ms. Nandini Saga, please present.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to my presentation. I will be discussing on the topic price forecasting as a tool to aid market-led extension. Now coming to the introduction. So what is market-led extension? Market-led extension is basically a market-ward orientation of agriculture through extension, and it not only includes extension, it also includes agriculture and economics, and it helps in reaching the doorsteps of the farming community with the appropriate technology that they need. Market-led extension also stressed the need of agricultural extension. The agricultural extension should be more than just a delivery vehicle for agricultural technology, and it should help the farmers in improving the quality of their farm produce, which not only increase the value of their commodity, but also help them in escalating their marketability, which contributes in an increase in farmers' income. Market-led extension also designed to transform a top-down extension system into a bottom one, where the farmers are the main center of attraction and it's a farmers demand-driven system. Now coming to the need of market-led extension. So why we need market-led extension? Even after gaining self-sufficiency in the food production after the Green Revolution, increased production has failed to attract the farmers with remunerative incentives. So most of the farmers are still not aware of the market situation. And with the globalization of the commodity markets, the farmers have to transform themselves, producer seller in the domestic market, to a producer come seller in the wide market or the global market, so that they can realize the optimum returns from their investment. And even now, with different policies are implementing, which is direct towards increasing farmers' share in consumers' rupee, so that income of the farmers can increase. And in this situation, market-led extension can be an effective tool which not only protects the interest of the farming community by taking care of the production aspect, but also it helps in marketing their produce. Now, there has been a shift from production-led extension, which was the main focus during the Green Revolution, to now, which is the main focus of market-led extension. We can differentiate these two approaches. So if we first look at the first approach, which is purpose. So the purpose of production-led extension, or PLE, was to transfer the production technologies. However, in case of market-led extension or ML, it is the optimum returns out of investment. And in case of MLE, it is high returns to investment. As only producer in case of PLE, however, they are seen as agripreneur or aquapreneur, basically in case of MLE. The focus has been, in case of MLE, is the whole production process as price. However, in case of production-led extension, it was the focus was only on production, all the yield. In case of production-led extension, there was only linkage between research to farmer. However, in case of market-led extension, the market has also been linked with this 3 of the production-led extension approach. Now, in case of technology, the production-led extension, there was only a fixed package of practice in of the different farming situation of individual farmers. However, in case of MLE, different types of are given based on the individual farmer's need. And since in case of MLE treated as an enterprise, so it is very important to maintain the records to understand how the is doing, whether they are getting any profit, how is their benefit cost ratio, etc., which is required in case of PLE. And lastly, if we look at the information technology support, in case of PLE, emphasis on the production technologies, but in case of market-led extension, the emphasis is on providing the with market information, like what are the price trends, what are the demand position of particular crop, what are the current price, etc. So what are the objectives of market-led extension? The first objective is to convert traditional agricultural sector into a profit-oriented business. The second one is it also aims to strengthen the research, extension, and farmer linkages, especially between various departments who are working at various levels. The third one is to strengthen the market linkage to farmers so that they can take the maximum opportunity of the marketing conditions. And last, it also focuses on the wider use of electronic mass media for agricultural extension. Now, what are the role of extension system in light of market-led extension? First, extension system helps in SWOT analysis or strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis of the market. It helps in organizing farmers' interest group based on different commodity. It also supports and enhances the capacity of locally established groups under various schemes, and it also enhances the communication skills of the farmer. It also helps in establishing marketing and agro-processing links between farmers, farmer groups, markets, private processors, and they not only educate the community to treat agriculture as an entrepreneurial activity, they also helps their direct marketing, they also helps the capacity building of the farmers interest groups, and also they helps in acquiring complete market intelligence regularly on various aspects of market. And lastly, they help the farmers in regular usage of internet facility so that they updated on market intelligence. So there are different information which are required to extension system farmers for the successful implementation of the market-led extension system. So the first one is present agricultural scenario and land pattern. Second one is the crops which are in demand in near future and in current aspect. Available inputs, market prices of the produces. What are the credit facilities? What are the facilities available? And lastly, market network of the local area and price differences of in markets. So if we look at all this information required, we can see that market prices of produce, price differences in various markets are the most important information which are required to the extensions as well as the farmer. So why this information are important? Because when reliable and timely available information are there, it improves the welfare of the farmers and also improves their bargaining. It also helps them better allocation of factors of production of the inputs, and it also has a significant influence on decision-making pattern of farmers regarding the crop acreage. The farmer take informed decision like whether they can sell in any other market, whether they can take the opportunity of selling the produce in other times so that get the maximum benefit out of the market condition. So there are different agencies which are disseminating price information to the farmers. Like first one is the AgMarkNet. It was launched in March 2000 as a sub-scheme of integrated scheme for agricultural marketing. And now AgMarkNet, a website, under this website, total 200 markets are covered and more than 2,700 markets are reporting data at AgMarkNet portal. More than 350 commodities and 2,000 varieties of these commodities are covered under the scheme. The second one is ENAM. ENAM, or National Agricultural Market, is an online trading platform for agricultural commodities in India. And at present, total 1,000 mandis of 18 states and 3 union are connected through ENAM. And total 175 crops, including food grains, oil seeds, spices, vegetable, fruits, are traded on this platform. And these site also disseminate price information of different crops which are included in this portal. Third one is MCX, or Multi Commodity Exchange, which is an independent commodity exchange based in India, and it was established in 2003, and it is based in Mumbai. Commodity derivative exchange, and it provides price information of 19 agricultural commodities. And lastly, NCDX, or National Commodity and Derivative Exchange Limited, which is also providing price information of 33 agricultural commodities. So not only these agencies, there are few ICT initiatives who are disseminating price information to the farmers, like Warana Wired Village Project, which was initiated in 1998 to provide villagers of 70 villages different aspects of agriculture market prices in their local language. The second one is iKisan, which provides the information on crops, crop management technique, fertilizer, different market updates, weather, etc. The third one is ERIC, which is a single window system to improve the access of information and technology in the northeastern part of India. The fourth one is eKrishi. It's utilized to educate farmers, and they provide real-time information on prices, arrivals, issue designing, and as well as weather forecast. The second last is Mahinda Kishan Mitra, which also provides on daily market price. And lastly, eChopal, which is a very famous initiative by ITC to provide marketing channel information on prices, weather, agricultural practices, etc. So ICT initiatives are only discussing about the current price information. They are only disseminating the current price information. So very few initiatives has been there which discuss about the forecasted price or the price that which is about to in the near future and to the farmers. So why this price forecasting or the information future prices is important to the farming community, I have discussed in this slide. So in order to know how the price will behave in the near future, we a price forecasting technique. So why this price forecasting technique is important, because it farmer from high and uncertain price fluctuation, because when farmers know that what could be the prevailing price in the near future, they can avoid the damage caused by the uncertain price shocks or price fluctuation. Not only that, price forecast is particularly important for the farmers because based on the anticipated price, they can take the decision about production as well as marketing, which has consequences several months later. And lastly, it is also very important for the policymakers and other specific stakeholders in the marketing chain of agricultural commodities, starting from farmers to consumers. So there are different models of price forecasting techniques. Among them, I have discussed only 4 here. That is ARIMA, ARCH, and GARCH. So ARIMA is a class of model which explains a given time based on its own past values. Suppose this year's value is upon the previous 4 to 5 years value, and it also depends upon the lagged forecast error. So SARIMA, or seasonally auto-regressive indicative moving average, is an extension of ARIMA, which is used for time series forecasting with univariate data containing trade and seasonality. ARIMA cannot used when the time series is equipped with a seasonal component. The third one is ARCH, which describes the variance of current error term as a function of the time period's error term. And the last one is GARCH, or generalized autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity, which is also an extension of ARCH model that incorporates the moving average component together with regressive component. So out of these 4, I have chosen ARIMA and GARCH model to show how this price technique works using a data series. I have taken potato crops data from Bardwan market of West Bengal, and I have collected monthly wholesale price data January 2006 to December 2020. The total data points is 180, and among that I have used 174 for my model building. Rest of the 6 I have kept to compare with the forecasted price, and I have used for this purpose, and I have collected the data from Directorate of Marketing and Inspection website, that is www.agmarknet.gov.in. Now I will discuss statistics and the time plot of the data series. So here I will discuss why I have chosen ARIMA. So ARIMA model is the most easy and the most widely used price forecasting technique in agriculture or any scenario. So that is the reason I have used ARIMA model for price forecasting. So in ARIMA model, it is assumed that time series variable would be a linear function of the past random shocks, and I have given here the equation which is used to build an ARIMA model. Before going to the result of ARIMA model, I would like to discuss here why I have used the GARCH model as well. There are several studies which have found that any time series value is equipped with high volatility, then GARCH model perform better ARIMA model in case of forecasting techniques. So I was very intrigued to see whether my series which I have taken for this purpose is also equipped with high volatility, and my findings are at other researcher finding. So for that reason, after doing the forecasting with the ARIMA model, I have tried to find out the volatility of the price series using GARCH model. As there are 2 terms, one is alpha 1, one is beta 1. So the sum of this and beta gives the degree of persistence of volatility in the time series. The nearer the value to, that means the volatility is more. So if we look at the result of this GARCH model of test of volatility, we can see that the sum of alpha and beta is 0.73, which is quite nearer to the 1. So we can interpret that there is high volatility present in the data. So that is the reason I have used GARCH model for the forecasting. Now coming to the comparison of the actual and forecasted price, if we look at the actual price and compare with the forecasted price using ARIMA and GARCH model, we can see that the GARCH models are closer to the actual values, but from that we cannot interpret anything. We have to check each model. So for that purpose, I have used mean absolute percentage error value. Result, we found that MAP value of ARIMA is 28.85, which is greater than GARCH MAP value of GARCH model, which is 19.25. So the GARCH model actually forecasted price than ARIMA model, and my findings are also at par with the findings of other researchers. However, from this result, we cannot say that whether GARCH or ARIMA has predicted a good forecast of the actual price. For this, I have taken a help of a table which was given by Lewis in the year 1982, which contains typical MAP values and their interpretation. So according to the table, if the MAP value is less than 10, we can say that model has given accurate forecasting, and if it is between 10 to 20, it is good forecasting. If it is between 20 to 50, we can say that it has given reasonable forecasting, and if it's more than 50, we can say it has given inaccurate forecasting. Here comes the role of extension system, which should play in light of the price forecasting technique. So role the extension system play should the capacity building of the extension personnel. They should be taught to the collect data, how to tabulate the data, how to run the software, how to interpret the result. And unless they know these things well enough, they cannot take the help of this forecasting technique to help the farmers. Second one is to disseminate the forecasting price. After they have forecasted price, it should be disseminated to the farmers. If these are not disseminated to the farmers, it is of no use. For the extension system should help the forecasted price disseminate through different channels like Kisan Call Center, web-based services like eKrishi, Mahindra Kishan Mitra, iKisan, mobile-based advisory services like M-Creators Market Like, and through AgMarkNet, through eNAM, through different TV channels and programs. Irrigation, which is a fully dedicated channel for agriculture only, and lastly through different programs. And the last role which should be played by extension system is to help the farmers in taking decision about marketing based on the forecasting price. Like if the forecasted price is higher than the anticipated, they can suggest him to store their produce so that they take the opportunity to get better returns from their investment. And if the forecasted price is lower than anticipated price, they can suggest their farmers to sell in other markets where the price is expected to be higher, or they can suggest to opt for some value addition services in order to get better price. So now coming to the summary and conclusion, in this era of globalization, extension services should be more focused toward marketing strategies, and more emphasis should be given towards market-led extension because it is an effective instrument to protect the interest of the farming community. However, to take the advantage of the marketing situation, farmers need price and market information, and different agencies as well as different ICT initiatives are now there who are disseminating information. However, all of them are providing current price information. Very few initiatives are there to disseminate the forecasted price. So with this background, I have study, and I have discussed here different techniques of the which can be used. I have used here ARIMA and GARCH model for price forecasting, and the forecasted price of both the models with the actual price and MAP value. From the MAP value, it was concluded that the GARCH provided good forecast and ARIMA model provided reasonable forecast. And since the MAP value of GARCH model is lower than model, it is better to use GARCH model than ARIMA model. And lastly, extension system should play role not only in disseminating price forecasted price, but also helps the farmer in taking their decision regarding based on the forecasted price. So these are my references which I have used for this study. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nandini Saga, and a very interesting presentation on what are the agencies are forecasting, and ICT initiative, almost 2 decades of initiatives also we brought. One of the oldest one, Varana wired is other things, and again, what are the models to price forecasting? Also, very quite interesting information, and we are very much really delighted to see role of extension what you presented. The extension professionals need to know these models and other things, how to forecast, to clearly articulated. They need to have the aware about how to collect data, to how to forecast which model to use. Very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. There is one question. What is the difference between demand-driven and market-led extension?
Sir, demand-driven extension is basically based on the demand or the focus of farmers, like what are the individual farmers are demanding for the situation. And market-led extension is like what are the market situation, and from that market situation, how the farmers can tap the opportunities, and they can use that opportunities to increase their income, or that can be fruitful to them. So that is the difference between demand-driven and.
It's very good presentation, and you had a lot of reviews, and based on that, I hope the whole conference we accepted only your paper as a review paper because we thought putting the price forecasting or market-led extension is very important. And we look forward to see your revised paper, comprehensive paper, and we can use it. And it's because it will be very much useful for extension professionals. We can talk about them. Even models, when we are hearing, it is very good to know. All the best. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.